Hello and welcome back. In today's video, we're going to be discussing visas, in particular the K-1 Fiancé visa and the CR-1 and IR-1 spousal visas, and which one would be best to get our spouse over to the United States. So this is a very big concern that I have with many of my new clients. They're wondering, how can I get my spouse or my fiancé over to the United States with me? And which visa option would be best to do that? So in today's video, I'm going to break down the key differences between the two visa types and help you decide which one is best for you. So let's first talk about the K-1 Fiancé visa. So this is a visa that allows fiancés who are engaged partners who are not yet legally married to enter the country and stay for a maximum of 90 days. So if your wedding happens within the given 90-day period, then your fiancé is allowed to apply to remain permanently in the United States. Now, at this point, he or she will undergo what is known as an adjustment of status, which basically means that he or she will transition from being a K-1 visitor to a permanent resident. Your spouse will then receive an official identification card, also known as a green card, and the visa is valid for 6 months, and the spouse must begin travel to the U.S. before that 6 months expires. Now, another common question that I get with this visa is my fiancé even eligible for the K-1 visa? So in order to meet the requirements for eligibility, both partners need to be available to marry, and both of you need to have met face-to-face within the past 2 years to prove that a bona fide relationship exists between the two of you. And another question I get is, how much does this all cost? So for the K-1 visa, the total cost of all the fees involved will be around $2,500. Now, this includes fees for filing the USCIS forms, the overseas medical check, and also a consulate visa fee. So how much time is this all going to take to get this all done? So the average time to get a K-1 visa started and finished usually takes between 7 and 9 months. Now this can be either faster or slower depending on where you go to actually apply. Some places will take between 5 and 7 months. Some places can be as short as 2 to 3 months. It really depends on which consulates you're going to or which places you're going to apply. The times can vary widely here. So that's the information for the K-1 fiancé visas. Now, what about the two different types of spousal visas, the CR-1 and the IR-1? There are two types of spousal visas. Now, the CR-1 visa is for marriages that have been short-term. So if you've been married for 2 years or less, you will receive a CR-1 visa, and if you've been married for longer than 2 years, you will receive an IR-1 visa. So that's the main difference, is how long you've been married. Now, both spousal visas allow immediate permanent immigration to the United States without the intermediate steps of an adjustment of status, as with the K-1 visa. Now again, these visas are valid for 6 months, and they allow the holder to enter the country to reside permanently. The visa holder will also be able to obtain a green card more easily with only a few simple procedures involved. Now, in terms of eligibility, your spouse is eligible if you are already married to each other and if you can prove that a bona fide relationship exists between the two of you. Now, usually this happens by having an interview with an official immigration officer. And as far as the cost of the spousal visas are concerned, this is actually a bit cheaper than the fiancé visa, because the total cost will be around $1,500. Now, this includes fees for the USCIS filing, as well as an affidavit of support, an immigrant visa processing fee, a medical exam, and a USCIS immigrant fee. Now, in terms of time, it does take a little bit longer to get the spousal visas. Now, this is mainly due to the fact that it takes more time to process and confirm the permanent residency of your partner. So the average time from start to finish for this is between 12 and 15 months. Now, again, times can vary widely depending on where you go. I've heard it take as short as 4 months and as long as 18 months, depending on, again, where you go to file. So which one is better for us? Ultimately, it depends on your individual situation. Now, if you're already married, then it would make the most sense to apply for a spousal visa, either an IR-1, again, if you've been married longer than 2 years, or a CR-1 if you've been married less than 2 years. Fiancé visa processing is much quicker on average, but it costs about $1,000 more. So if you're not married yet and you need your partner over to the United States quickly, you should probably go for the fiancé visa. However, if you want to save money and you can afford to wait longer, and if you're already married, you should go with the spousal visa. But you should consult with a lawyer and an immigration professional to review your specific case and decide which option best suits your needs. Thank you, and I hope you found this video helpful. We'll see you soon.